This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. I'm Roby Brock. We appreciate you tuning in this Sunday morning here. All right, senior economic officials, Governor Asa Hutchinson had been on a trade mission to China and Japan. We are joined by Arkansas Economic Development Commission Executive Director Mike Preston, who's maybe feeling a little jet lag.
Oh, a little bit. I'm getting there. I'm almost recovered
from all those travels. All right, give me the debrief. You went to China, you went to Japan. What is going to develop from that mission?
You know, we went there and really it's about relationships. It's building these relationships. It's building the trust with these two countries to make sure that they're confident in the investments that they've already made here, and then looking for future investments. If you look at Japan, it's our largest foreign direct investment from any country, and China's a new market for us. You know, we've been very successful the last couple of years, 5 projects, $1.5 billion in investment, over about 1,600 jobs total. Our focus in going there again was to reemphasize these relationships that we have, and then also to shake the bushes and look for some new projects to come out.
Did you find some?
Well, we're in the process of working on a few. Nothing to come back and report on, but Rice Sever was one of the projects that we announced just before we went over there, and I give that company a lot of credit because they really wanted to sign an MOU with us while we were there at their corporate headquarters with all their corporate folks. But they knew how important it was to Jonesboro, Arkansas to announce that project there. So they had representatives from the company come over the week before we went to China to announce that project. So it's 130 jobs, $25 million capital investment, manufacturing company that's going to have their first North American headquarters located in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And that was real competitive. I mean, they looked at 5 different states, 70 sites in total before they made that decision in Jonesboro.
Toyota and Mazda, 2 other Asian companies. We found out Arkansas was not in the running for that. Have you had time to do a debrief on that, or will it come later?
It'll come later. We've had some short conversations, so we've got a general idea of what happened and what they're looking for. But
care to share?
It boils down to workforce. We need to be able to stand up a ready workforce in the time that they needed to, and then available sites. We got to have a shovel-ready site in the state of Arkansas. This project was moving so quickly that I think there were some things that stood in Arkansas's way, and I think we can overcome them. We're going to learn a lot from this project. We're going to learn a lot more as we sit down with Toyota.
Conventional wisdom is that there are 2 super sites. Are they not shovel-ready at this point in time?
They've got a ways to go before they can get there.
Yeah. All right. The governor said something in his press conference from China on this. I want to read you a little bit about what he said here. He said that whenever we got what I thought was in the window of early Chinese investments in the U.S. and recruiting those 5 companies that you alluded to Arkansas, I actually thought the investment opportunities would diminish and would not be available in the coming years. This trip has persuaded otherwise. You and I have talked about the fact that China has said it's going to pull back on its foreign investment. Why is the governor convinced that from this trip that
he's convinced
changed?
Well, and obviously having the president follow us up on our trip there and reaffirming some ties with China made a big difference. But we heard from a lot of folks in China, especially from the government, from the ambassador, about what that just means. We knew that there was going to be some tightening of funds coming out of China, but it's on, as I refer to them, as vanity projects, on things in the entertainment industry and gaming industry. Projects like those, they're tightening. Traditional projects like we've worked in manufacturing, investments into infrastructure, things like that pipeful is going to continue to flow. And that's what we were able to learn on this trip, that those projects are still going to come. So that's why it was good for us to be there. There's a couple of projects that I alluded to that we're still working on, a few leads that we're chasing down over there. So we're looking at that as a positive sign.
Sun Paper is one of the big Chinese investments that is made here. It's about $1.3 billion of that total investment there. It seems like it has been quiet on that front. When will we start to see the site turn dirt, or when will we see more of what is still pending?
Sure, and that was one of our objectives when we were on the trip. We met with Sun Paper officials and had good conversations with them. They're down to their last permit, so they've gotten all the other permits they need. They're down to their final air permit. They told us when we were there they have their consulting firm, who's a European-based group. working on that. They should have all that information submitted to AEDC by the end of the month. So once they get that permit, then they'll be able to move forward on starting to do some construction, turning a little dirt.
Controls that AEDC. You can make that move pretty quick.
Well, I tell you, AEDC has been very good in working with them and getting them everything that they need and moving things very quickly. Literally, it's just waiting on them to get the final data to put in, and they're moving forward. I think there's going to be great opportunities there. They're looking at that site and all the good things. The possibilities are really endless.
So you think early next year we may be breaking ground?
Maybe middle of next year, I would see ground being breaking.
All right, last question for you here. Federal tax debate. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about cutting corporate taxes down to a 20% rate. What do you like in the tax debate that's going on? Is there something that you see that would be very beneficial to business in Arkansas?
Well, you said it right there, cutting the corporate tax rate down to 20%. That's huge. I think there's a lot of companies right now maybe sitting on the sidelines and watching how that tax debate shakes out and what's going to happen, because when it does, the floodgates are going to open up, and get ready, because economic developers like me in other states, we're going to get really competitive, because you're going to see a lot of foreign direct investment coming in. You're even see some reshoring of jobs. There's going to be a big shift coming back to the U.S. if that can get passed.
You don't think other countries will counter with their tax rates where there's some opportunity for onshoring?
I'm sure they do, but they want to be in the U.S. I mean, this is still the strongest economy in the world. It's access to our markets, and if we can get our tax structure down to a point that's much more manageable, that 20%, then we're going to have some more competitive projects coming in.
Things are clipping along at a pretty good rate, though, if you look at the economy in general. I mean, here in Arkansas, 3.5% unemployment, high employment. Nationally, you still have low interest rates, stock market performing very well. I mean, can business get that much better?
It can. We don't need to sit on our laurels and rest. Well, the economy's doing well. Now's the time to invest in what's next. And to me, that's investing in our workforce. We need to make sure we have a trained and ready workforce that's ready for these projects that are coming in. Wage growth. I see a lot of people who are underemployed in the state. I see people who have a skill set that could translate into an even better job. So our goal is to bring in those better, higher paying, diversified jobs, because we have the people there that we can fill them. We just need to link those companies with those people.
All right, Mike Preston with Arkansas Economic Development Commission. Always good to be with you.
Thanks, Roby. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. We're back with more. We're going to talk politics right after this.